Today is June the 29th. Oh, take your mask off.
Oh.
So today is June 29th, 2020, and we are still in the middle of a pandemic in the United States. I don't want to have to edit this over and over again. Can you not do that? This is why we're not doing it live.
I'm trying to keep my eyes open.
This is why we're not doing it live.
Okay.
Okay, this is why it's recorded so I can edit it, because I can't trust you that you're going to act like you got sense.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
This is the middle. So today is June 29th, 2020, and we are in the middle of a global pandemic of COVID-19. But life goes on. And June 27th was our 28-year anniversary, and we normally do
28th
something.
Year.
Okay, 28th year.
You said 27.
No, I didn't. I said 28.
All right.
It's on video. I can rewind it.
All right. That's what you said.
This is our 28th year of marriage, and we normally do something like go to Costa Rica or Mexico or Jamaica and spend our anniversary out of the country, but this year that was not an option. So we decided that we would actually try to stay local, and the dilemma that gave us was, is it safe? And where would we go? We have self-quarantined ourselves for about 120 days. So the state of emergency for the United States was declared on March 13th, but we were self-quarantining at least about 2 weeks before that. And so
We were preparing.
we are
He's in prep mode.
for the first time venturing it out. So
Yes, this is the first time we've been out of state, literally, since Vegas.
yes, and that was
February.
February. That was way pre.
Yeah, that was February. The last week of February is the last time we've been out of state.
Yes. So this is the first time. So one of the
March,
things that we
April, May,
looked at when
4
we
months.
thought about where we would go was, of course, where is the virus not running rampant? And because we live in Connecticut, we know that Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey have been working in tandem with one another to flatten our curve, and we've been doing pretty good.
Good job, governors.
And we decided to come back to a location that we have been probably a half a dozen times, but hadn't been in a while, which is Mohonk Mountain House in New Peltz, New York. And we came here because I was okay with coming here because I knew that they had a lot of activities for us to do, and in a way that would allow us to social distance.
Right.
So
Outdoor activity.
it is a 5-star resort that is on a reserve and next to a park where there's lots of hiking, biking. There used to be horseback riding, but I guess in the mid-pandemic, there was no horseback riding.
They put the horses up.
They put the horses up. So,
What you saying about that?
why did you think Mohonk was, for you, why was it a good choice?
It's black people friendly. That's number one.
Okay.
What else? The food is excellent. It's consistent. It is clean all around. So the bathrooms are clean.
Even before
Yeah.
with the pandemic.
Right. The grounds are clean. For instance, you don't find like trash and litter. They have, I know from the last time we've come, they said they have 80 trails. So that was very alluring to know that you could be outside and you could do the things you do, which we hike, we bike, all of that good stuff. They've got fishing, though I did not fish this time, but they have fishing and you can catch the fish in the quarry. They have a quarry lake.
Mm-hmm.
And
Boating.
if you catch the fish in the lake, you can actually give it to them and they'll cook it for dining. But they had so much seafood. I think we had lobster 2 days in a row, so I could do without. They had salmon, they had an abundance of seafood. And then the views, the rooms that we picked this time, which was the 6th floor of the castle region, which was probably one of the highest floors you can get. And we had a view that overlooked the mountains, which, you know, watched the sunset, which is amazing. So I think all of those together, it's cozy. And then I anticipated it wouldn't be a lot of people here because of we came on day 2 of opening we came on day 2 of the phase 2 opening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize
So
that.
it literally the governor just opened up all of these facilities, like hotels, resorts, kind of thing.
So I think that for us, another thing that was attractive for Mohonk, which is, I guess when you go on vacation, it's about, does it have the things that you enjoy when you go on vacation? So I threw out the idea of, hey, maybe we can just rent an Airbnb somewhere. And Shafiq brought to my attention, then we'd have to cook for ourselves, right?
It's like cooking.
So that's
You're
something that
cooking for 120 days.
Right, we look forward to on vacation. Yes, is having somebody cook for us, for the food to be good. So the quality of food and the service of food is something that we look for on vacation.
Clean and sanitize the entire house.
Yeah.
Before you go in it. We're just coming here. We were able to bring our own COVID cleanser and disinfect the bathroom, which was already clean.
Right.
But
It's one room versus
Right.
having to deal with the whole house and then the cooking utensils and then the fridge. It would have just been a lot. And so we chose not to do the Airbnb route. So there's 2 things. So social distancing, and I have to say for us in particular, before COVID, that is actually something that we look for when we go on vacations. We do not go to places that have lots of activity. One technique that we use is that we try to see a picture of the resort and we count the lawn chairs around the pool. If there's a lot of chairs, then it's going to be a lot of people, and we don't want to go there. So we enjoy small places with not a lot of people. We don't like the big crowds.
Eco resorts. That's what we go to. This is an eco resort.
So that's something that we look forward to. So I just want to mention a few things that we've enjoyed about this resort in the past, and then that way we can compare it to what the experience was like this time around. So we discovered this resort maybe about 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
About 15 years ago was the first time that we came here. We've come here several times alone, as a couple. We've brought the children here. We have 4 children. We've brought them here when they were smaller. And have enjoyed it every single time. Some of the things that the kids really enjoy, of course, is that there's lots of activities for them to do. As parents, you should know that they actually even have a kids club where they take the kids for like the whole day, and you actually only have to have them during mealtime, and they do activities with them, and it's all types of things that they can enjoy.
I think they only do that during Kids Week, though.
No, it's actually a standard.
Yeah.
I actually didn't check to see if they're still doing it during COVID, but it's a standard feature here. The other thing that we really enjoyed is the food. Like, they have a beautiful dining room with an exquisite look out at the mountains, and what the kids really enjoyed, and we sort of enjoyed too, is that during the evening time, it was a jacket and semi-formal, right? I remember when Isan came here the first time. I think he was about 6 years old, and it was the first time we actually brought him a suit jacket, and he was super excited. And so the dining room and the selection of food was really extensive. Being Muslim and eating completely halal, they were always very accommodating. If they weren't serving seafood, they would go make seafood for us because we were coming. But even at the breakfast time, one of the unique things that I like about here is they had a whole selection of vegetarian options, vegetarian sausage and patties and all of the different types of things that we actually can eat. So we weren't just regulated to like, oh, you could just have some pancake and eggs, right? We had actually a lot of options during every single meal. So we really enjoyed that, and actually be able to sit down inside of the dining room. That was actually taken away. So we'll get to that. So let's start from the top. When you enter the resort, so this is, we're gonna say the things that kind of have changed and how they've adjusted along the way. when you enter the resort and you are stopped at the security station, they, as normal, ask if you're for your reservation. What's your reservation?
And
what
you have to
name is
fill
it
out a
under?
COVID, you have to fill out a COVID questionnaire before you come.
Oh, yes. So
In advance.
before you come, they email you a COVID questionnaire. We filled that out and signed it electronically. When we arrived at the resort, at the security gate, they took our temperature. So they had the little distance temperature monitor and checked our temperature on our forehead. Our temperature was fine, so we came up to the house. In the past, they had a valet that would take your car and park it. One of the changes that they've made is that you actually have to park your own car. They'll take your bags and then you can go park your own car. So that's smart. They don't want to get inside your car and be exposed to germs.
Might try to steal something.
So when it came time to actually check in, so Shafiq checked in for that. So what was that check-in process like?
So the check-in actually was like a teller in a New York bank. So, well, you know, it's all glass. You ain't touching nothing. So it's glass, and then they all the transaction, no cash, right? Or wait a minute, let me get it right. So it's all glass, and then there's little slots at the bottom. So if they have something you need to sign, they push the paper under. They give you a pen, and then after you sign it, there's a cup that says use pens, and you put the pen in the use pen cup. Then I prepaid some of it with a card, and then when I came, I wanted to put the rest in cash. So I gave them cash. She counted the cash out, but I gave her more cash than I needed, and she's like, "Well, we can't give you cash back." She was like, "We would have to mail a check to you if you have a balance." And I was like, "That's not a problem," but we added some stuff to the room, so I don't think we're gonna have a balance. I think they're gonna wind up charging more money onto the card. So, I mean, that was a pretty strict no contact process. So that was, I mean, I looked at it more of, it was kind of more safe for them, and it's more important for them to be safe because they're
Dealing with so many people.
Yeah, they're dealing with many people. So you know, you don't need. I mean, you don't need a class. You really don't need a class. You know, what I need, I need them to drop the price. I mean, I didn't need them to drop the glass. Keep the glass up. Drop the price down. You know what I mean? That's what I needed.
So after we were all checked in, it was time to take our elevator, and we messed up the first time. We did not notice that the sign said no more than 2 people from one party is to share an elevator. Right. So we got on the elevator
with our mask on.
With our mask on. Oh, so yeah, the rule for the resort itself is that anytime you are in public areas, then you have to wear your mask. You are to take it with you at all times. So even when you're hiking on the trails, there's signs along the trails that says when you pass another hiker.
When you see another hiker,
put on your mask.
See someone, mask someone.
Yes, mask up. You see somebody, you're supposed to mask up. So we had our mask on. We got in the elevator, and then 2 other people asked, would it be okay for them to get in the elevator with us? And I was like, sure, we all have on masks. Oops, apparently we were not supposed to do that.
Mask and tape.
I did not realize that until the second time around when I actually took pause to read the sign in front of the elevator.
Mascot.
So when we got to the hotel room, everything was normal as always, but what we did was we brought our own disinfectant and we cleaned the bathroom, we cleaned the bathroom floor, we wiped down all of the touchable surfaces just so that
the table, the dresser, the dresser drawers, everything that's hard, every hard surface in the room that you would touch or put food on, we cleaned off.
Right. So their
and then we didn't have anybody clean the room.
Right. Their resort is definitely very well cleaned, but just for our, you know, I guess so that we can feel secure, we cleaned it again for ourselves.
Absolutely.
We were here for 3 nights and 4 days, and we did not have anybody come and clean the room. And apparently there is a sign. You know how you normally put the sign on the door that says do not disturb? They actually have a sign that you put on the door if you want the room cleaned.
Right.
So they don't clean it automatically anymore. You actually have to ask.
But it's always
them
been
to
like
clean
that
it.
here. This is an Eco Lodge, so they've always had like they provide, if you need towels, just ask for towels. But they would, to try to keep stuff down, they would say, you know, don't try to use too many towels.
But I think this putting the sign on the door is a new step. They actually have a sign. But we didn't put the sign out. You know, we sleep on our sheets at home for 4 days. So why can't you sleep on these sheets? So that was kind of like as far as being inside of the facility. Now, the only thing that I think that I understand but did not particularly enjoy is the way the food was served, or the way the eating arrangements were created. So they have an area which is sort of like an outdoor cookout area that's called the granary, and when the weather is nice, you go to the granary and they have different stations. So most of their food now is grilled. So any meat or seafood that they can put on the grill, they do. So your grill options are like steak,
prime rib,
what is that?
filet mignon.
They don't have that.
They have filet mignon.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay. They had pork ribs, they had rotisserie chicken, they had hot dog, they had hamburgers,
some kibasi type stuff.
Kibasas, yeah. So everything that can be put on the grill, those were all of like the meat options.
Did you say veggie burgers?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Veggie burgers.
We had veggie burgers.
Morningstar veggie burger.
Yep. So the only dilemma, and then they had, you know, like salad and vegetables and stuff like
Grill
that.
mask.
The only problem with that was I just felt like the food was not as hot because we were outdoors, right? And it got cool really quickly as opposed to being indoors. Yeah. So that's the only
And all of the, you know, the other thing too was the circuit that you had to do after you got your food is really what did it. So by the time, so you go get your, kind of like your, they would start off with your cold stuff first. So like say if you want.
So it's literally like standing in a lunch line.
Right.
They have these little green things on the floor and you're supposed to stand 6 feet apart from the party that's in front of you. And you didn't even get your tray first. They kept the plates and trays. You would go and you don't get a plate. So I guess they don't.
Discount wedding reception. Like I paid, everybody, we paid enough chicken, you get one piece of chicken. So there's like, what do you want? You get a chicken or a chicken?
No, you can choose whatever you want and how many you want. But the interesting thing, I guess they were trying to reduce people like touching plates unnecessarily. So you go to one station, you tell them what you want, they put it on a plate and they hand you your plate. So the only plate you're touching is your plate. You're not reaching on a stack of plates, touching what other people are going to be eating off of. Only the staff is actually touching the plate and giving it to you. Then you go to your next station and tell them what you want, and then the staff puts the food on the plate, or they may give you another plate if it doesn't fit on there, and you sort of kind of like go down the line. It was almost like a lunch line.
For those of you who are that old, like bananas. But the thing about, I think the thing is that what if you have to think of from the time you get your first plated item, right, to the time it's going to take you to get back to the table where you're going to sit down and eat. What is that time?
It's like a 10-15 minutes.
I say about 20 minutes. I mean, because at the granary, you got to get in the line, then you getting your stuff. Okay, so you're getting your cold stuff first, which is fine. You know, I don't know, lobster salad and whatever, right? Your lettuce and thing. And then you might get your meat, right? So now you get your meat items. Now you got your meat item. Then you might get your hot stuff, your beans or whatever, your roasted vegetables.
So it happens, like I think with every meals, because even like the first time I went into the breakfast, so breakfast you can go inside of dining room, but there's no sitting in the dining room. It's the same process. It's a line and you have to wait. And so I got my omelet done, and you know, they do your omelet any way you want, and it's nice and hot, and they put it on these disposable lunch plates. But then the pancake guy was really backed up, so I'm standing there for 10 minutes. My omelet is cooling, waiting for.
But the omelet stayed pretty warm. I would give it the omelet.
I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't as warm as it would have been if it was all served together. So
I think going down the line, they just have to work out.
Yeah, that I think the time
and
it takes
distance
changes the food.
And what really can throw that off for you, which could create a level of marginal aggravation, is that, you know, you're like, okay, well, what if I just got my cold stuff first, my salad and my thing, and then I went and got my drink, and then I went and got whatever else I got to get, and then I can come back and get my meat, my hot meat lab. But you can't do that
because you're all in line.
Because there's a assembly line,
right,
and then there's a social distance. So we were in one line, and we were walking. And it was like, you know, these little red circles, like little red bases, like if you play softball, green bases. Amazing I said red, because then you know that that the color you normally see if you stare at green would be red. And the number, if you stared at red, you actually see green, but whatever. I just wanted to throw it out there.
I didn't.
You didn't know that?
No.
Okay. Well, that's true.
I've never looked at
that. That
green
is actually true.
Red
but what's important is, so the two of us are together because we're together. And most people that are together, like a couple, are together in their circle. So they're together. So me and her together. Somebody else is together in a circle. So we wasn't really paying attention. I don't know what happened. We thought the people in front of us were going to move, but they didn't. And so the really big, tall, white guy that was about 6'6", older guy, looks like about maybe 70, he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And we was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he was social distancing from his wife. And I was like, "Huh? What?"
We got like, 2 feet too close.
Why are you social distancing from your wife? You're supposed to be with. What are y'all doing? Like, where are you from, dude? He wasn't from Texas, Arizona, or Florida, obviously.
Because he would have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Well, because they got the highest cases. But we were like, okay, so like that's got to be interesting in the room with them. He's like, "Hey, don't you come near this bed." She's like, "But honey, I'm tired of sleeping outside on the window." Too bad. Social distancing. You got the odd night.
But you know what? I always think, you know, to everybody is just more tense now because of where we are. So but the food, I think that the food, of course, was as good as it always is.
It was good. Lobster was good.
It was really delicious. I thought that it was
Veggie
really smart
what
they did in terms of inclement weather. So one of the things that they've done is, obviously you can't use the granary, which is an outdoor space, if it rains, and it rained for a couple of days here. But they were perfectly prepared because they have a skating rink, a huge skating rink that is normally used for the kids to skate in. During the wintertime, they let the water freeze and you can ice skate on it. But now it's turned into an outdoor dining room. Perfect. The tables are 6 feet apart. Everything, actually, I thought it was a really great idea of how to adjust feeding the guests and keeping social distances and keeping us safe. And now we know that outdoors is actually less contamination than when you're eating in an indoor space. So I thought that was perfect, and it was still a really nice, the way that the arches are set, like you don't feel like you're inside of a skating rink. It's like you feel like you're in like a large space. So I really enjoyed that. Other than that, the activities were everything that we expected them to be.
Really good. Mountain bike riding?
Yes, we went hiking, we went mountain biking, and that was interesting though.
Mountain bike challenge with Mubaraka Ibrahim. I thought that I would be able to put on my headphones and listen to some jazz music and just ride this nice fluffy bike. And after 2 jazz songs, I had to adjust and go to 3 Migos and start listening to trap music. 3 Amigos and Cardi B and all these other dudes and Nicki Minaj. because, bruh, I don't even know what you were doing, you know? And then it
You've been
was
doing
like
this for
her
28
texting
years.
me,
You should know better
where
now.
are you? Where am I? The bottom of the incline, hello? You know, then she would get, you have to, up on the mountain, you know, when you have to stand up and lean forward, like, what's the guy that was the bike dude?
The Tour de France
Tour
guy.
de France dude, and like Lance Armstrong. And then when you get right up to the thing, she go, oh, hold on. What? I don't know if we're supposed to be going this way. But we're in the middle of the mountain, man. We're in the middle of the incline. And then she's like, oh, yeah. We're supposed to keep going up. And I'm like, really, man?
I was looking at my app, okay?
Really?
I was looking at my app.
Really?
You took 1 to 2 wrong
Like, I really
words.
think, like, I might have popped one of those tubes that go up to my back that connect my, you know what I'm talking about, like I think I call it Vegas deferens. I'm down one side.
He did great.
So yeah, so that was not, but it was awesome.
But here's a thing that that has to do with kind of like how things have changed. So another great feature of this particular resort is they actually have hiking tours and biking tours. But we actually chose not to go on the bike tour because Shafiq was like, if we go on a bike tour, we're going to be with a group of people and they're going to expect us to wear our masks.
Bro, let me tell y'all
something.
Biking. Don't even think about trying to exercise with an N95 or any kind of mask on. I'm telling you, you put yourself, I'm a runner, I'm an athlete. I can't even imagine.
It will be very
take my
challenging.
temperature. That's all I'm gonna just tell you. Take my temperature. It's crucial.
So we decided to actually just bike on our own because we didn't want to have to wear the mask while we were biking. I think the new activity that we tried that we really enjoyed was the tomahawk throws.
Tomahawk.
So they have an outdoor tomahawk. And an archery range. We've never actually used it before. And so that was it was fun.
Say it again. Tomahawk. A friend of mine is a Yale police sergeant at Yale. His name is Tomahawk.
I'm gonna edit that part out.
Don't edit that part because it's so funny. I want to send it to him. Tomahawk. I saw one time he said, "Yeah, you know what to call me? No, we call you sergeant. Call me Tomahawk." Okay, just make sure that I'm never around you during the motor vehicle stuff.
So we actually really enjoyed it. So I dragged him out of bed for that one, but he liked it. So
I just want to say that for the indigenous people of North America, okay, we did do some research and found out that tomahawks are not just only to indigenous people, but they are also something that's used by Africans. I did not want to be classified as misappropriating another culture's cultural tools for whatever the case is. So I just want to say that as part of my disclaimer, okay? And I can go into history. I'm sure I will find some indigenous people in my bloodline, but for right now, until I get there, I just want to just make that very clear.
We were not culturally appropriating.
Okay.
We wanted to make that clear.
And we were taught by, apparently, the instructor was Indian. Native American, indigenous North American person.
Okay. So what we discovered is I discovered that I am good at a two-handed tomahawk. But if my right side get injured and I gotta throw it with my non-dominant hand, we in trouble because I ain't laying none of those. He apparently is really good from 30 feet.
Yes.
So the instructor said, don't run from him.
Yeah. Listen, it's about the zombies. That's all it's about for me. Y'all, if anybody know me, I think zombies are real. And we're apparently trying to make them, according to the numbers coming out of the CDC right now, the World Health Organization. We're apparently have changed our
COVID vaccine, right?
We changed our GMP. We are now manufacturing
I Am
zombies.
Legend. That's all I want to know. Just watch I Am Legend with Will Smith. That's all I gotta say. You know,
I'll stick with the
and
Golden
just be
Seal.
ready.
I'm gonna stick with the Golden Seal.
Be ready.
I trust the Golden Seal.
So, I think what else can we say about it? So
it's a nice place. It's relaxing. Yes. It's very nice. The staff is very nice. The staff is very culturally diverse. So, you know, it looks like there's a lot of people here that are from different parts of Africa, Central South America. There's, you know, people here that obviously that are white. But the staff overall, it's a perfect mixture of people doing different. So normally you go someplace and you go to maybe a high-end resort and it'll be like all black people cooking, right? And picking up all of your trash or something like that. Here you don't see that.
Right.
You actually
they definitely have a diversity in
you
staff.
you see a diversity not just in staff, but you see a diversity in the level of staff, right? So you will see
and every level of staff.
So you'll see a black
diversity.
black person being a chef, and you see a white dude taking up trash, right? So and everybody's just nice. I mean,
their level of service is definitely a 5-star resort. Yeah. So in conclusion, I think that what I can say in terms of
was that my conclusion?
No, I'm just saying for me.
It's your show.
In conclusion, I would say saying 2 things on recommending the resort. Definitely on a scale of 1 to 10, I would recommend it at a level 10. I think that it is an awesome resort. It is a place that we do intend on coming back and bringing the kids again. Their service is excellent. The food is excellent. In terms of, I think, on a level of 1 to 10 on how they have adjusted to COVID and how they've incorporated a part of the resort, I would say I would give them a 9 on a level of 1 to 10.
I give them a 10. I think I'll be honest with you.
They just gotta figure out that food line.
No, but I'm saying.
I know it's difficult, and I don't have an answer, but you know, I just want my food a little bit hotter.
But I think in terms of
when
COVID,
I sit down and eat it.
You know, I think when you think about some place to go, everybody's not going to get it right. But in terms of the COVID
I think they've done
level
an
of
excellent
safety,
job, yeah, they've done an excellent job.
They are on top of it. I mean, like top. I mean, even like we went in the gift shop and they have the same kind of glass set up because the gift shop has all of the coffee, you know, where you get espresso, and I was at the little window thing and I had my mask off for some reason. I can't remember why. For a brief moment, I think I was stirring my coffee, trying to do it, and I said, "Can I have some?" She said, "Oh, you have to keep your mask on." I was like, "Wow, okay, here you go."
Even behind the glass, you have to keep your mask on.
So you know, there's definitely a buddy system of them reminding people, and it's done in such a culture where you kind of feel shame if you don't follow it.
I think everybody was just doing it though. I don't think it was. I mean, even people with little kids had the little cute little masks.
Yeah, it was like a little.
You I guess if you don't put it on, you kind of feel like you're being the oddball.
Yeah. So. Like I saw a pregnant lady. She had a mask on her belly.
No, she didn't. Now he's being silly.
No.
So in conclusion, you would give them on a 1 to 10 rate scale?
I give them 10s all across the board.
Okay.
The only thing I would say is my only critique would be, if you are a serious coffee drinker, and y'all know that I'm a very serious coffee drinker, the coffee is not that hot. And I don't know if it's because of the level of elderly people they have or the containers that they use, but the coffee is not that hot and it's not that strong. So if I was you, I would do 2 things. I would stop off to Starbucks and get you the instant bag coffees, which is what I got. And
it's not that hot and it's not that strong.
And then when you go to drink your coffee or whenever you deal with them to get coffee, just get water and you just add those to it, because the water is going to be hotter than what the coffee is would get, and you can get the proper mixture of what you want. And if you are going to be a person that drinks coffee in your room or you like the late night coffee, then bring yourself one of those electric coffee warmers. Bring you a cup, you know, like your nice favorite porcelain mug or whatever, and bring that coffee warmer so that you can keep your coffee warm, because there's no microwaves in the room. There's no microwaves, and there's no microwaves in the facility. So if you want to get your coffee warmed up, they would have to take it downstairs, so there's the coffee piece. Other than that, you're good.
The only other thing that I failed to mention when it came to the food is you do have an option during mealtime to get room service, get your food delivered to your room, at no additional cost, and I think that is actually really good. The only reason why we did not do that is because that is actually a different menu, and the menu of going to the granary or to the pavilion was actually better and gave you more options. So it gave you more options. So we actually chose.
And because it was not a lot of black people here, I thought it was important that they see the diversity that the resort could bring by bringing two beautiful chocolate people into their space. So we didn't want to deny them of this chocolate-acity.
Chocolate-acity?
Chocolate-acity. Hashtag. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yes, there's a lot of diversity in staff, but there isn't a lot of diversity in the guests. We did see, I think, 2 other black couples, and I saw
one black.
No, we saw the black couple at the granary, and then remember we saw the little boy and his dad walking down the road. But I don't know if they were just hiking or if they were actually guests.
Yeah, I never seen them again.
And we didn't see them again. And then we saw like a couple of East Indian couples and like one Asian couple.
But that's not black.
No, but it's diversity from right.
That's
So,
diversity.
yeah.